I was thinking the other day about how many software programs I have tried to run my productivity system. I mean, it's no secret that I'm a follower of GTD, the getting things done methodology. And it always surprised me that GTD author David Allen has always resisted endorsing any software program, or for that matter, developing a program that he could sell, make a whole lot of money. Hi, I'm Dave Edwards. And in a recent conversation I had with David Allen, I asked him why there is no GTD software program.
Because GTD is a holistic system. You can't just do part GTD. You can't just do something. So you need to have something that includes everything digitally, but there's no way anybody's going to do everything with any one particular digital tool. How many do you use right now? Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, email, Evernote, God knows. I mean, how many things are you using that you would say were components of how I kind of manage GTD-esque my life? But to put all those into one thing, the one thing that I actually designed that nobody was ever able really to implement was a way that you could connect to all of those in a larger holistic way. So digitally, you could just have a dashboard, and then you could then pick and choose. Here's a project, so it automatically brings you your whatever your project, your mind mapping software up. Automatically does this, that, or the other. And the technology probably has existed to be able to do that, but not the market.
You
Who
don't think there's
cares?
a market for it? I don't know. I see a lot
No,
of
there's no. Come on, people are still keeping stuff in their head. You think there's going to be a market for somebody that's going to buy something that's going to have them make all these decisions about stuff and then handle all that? I would have loved it if there were, but in the two experiments that we tried, both in 1995 as well as in 2000 and 13 or 14, working with some of the brightest people and the best software engineers you could ever meet, that they couldn't create a viable enough immediate product out there that would have value, that was unique in the marketplace, that would then allow that to grow and then build the whole system. So it just never took off from a marketing standpoint. Technologically, yeah, it would have taken a lot of depth to be able to make all that work, and just didn't have the resources and the bandwidth to do all that. Especially if there was immediately a market that could do it, then it could fund it. You could get funding to be able to then develop all that. But I
yeah.
gave that up decades ago.
I actually did a search. I did a Google search on productivity software management systems, and it was astounding how many hits came up. And then I refined it by just saying GTD and productivity systems, and there were so many, which tells me
Hundreds.
people are trying really hard to sell a product that mirrors what you're talking about.
Well, all they're doing is list management.
Yeah.
They're all just list managers, and great. List managers are a great way to manage a part of what GTD is about. But list managers are very passive to what you're putting in the list and what you're deciding to do. They're not building, sort of supportive triggering. If you captured something and something on the computer says it's that, what are you going to do about that? Well, is it actionable? Yeah, great. What's your next action? Great. Well, one action, finish this. No, great. So what's your project? And you put a project on your project list. It says, do you want to see your project management software right now to spend a couple of minutes on it? And you can program, oh, yeah, every time I create a new project, give me 2 minutes of brainstorming so I can capture ideas about it. Right? You could have done that 20 years ago, but nobody's come even close to that. Nobody's even come close to having a Post-it you could instantly put on your screen. Little noties or whatever that Microsoft has. Yeah, kind of like that, but nothing you could hit a speed key no matter where you were and see a yellow note that you could just make a note. And based upon that note, if you put call on that note, it would automatically move it to a list called calls.
Mm-hmm.
We had that in 1995, but you can't even do that now. You tell me why.
Yeah.
Beats me. That's
Yeah.
why I just gave up. I gave up the game of trying to play in the software or digital world in terms of any of my recommendation. And people ask me, what do I recommend? I say, it's changing weekly. Just find a good list manager. But you're still going to have to understand the GTD process to make any of them work. Now, once you get GTD, you can make any of those software work. You can make any of those apps work.
Hmm.
You know, Todoist or Trello or Asana, or you can make any of those work if you know what you need to do and how to use it. The tool is not going to tell you.
David Allen is the author of GTD, Getting Things Done. I get to talk with him from time to time, and I share my conversations with you. If you have a question I could ask David on your behalf, post them below or email me at daveedwards@outlook.com. Thanks very much.